And good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of ABQ Sports Crew. We are live here in the ABQ Sports Crew studio. I am Joshua Creel, joined with Adam Nish.
Hey, guys.
And Elijah Esquivel.
Hello.
And Elijah, it's good for you to be back, man. We haven't seen you in a few weeks.
Yeah, I've been trying to avoid you guys, and you guys keep calling me back. But yeah, a few small vacations, but it's good to be back with the crew, and just wish the Cowboys would have won. It would have been a much nicer experience coming here. I'm sure
we'll get there
today.
We'll get there. Yeah. As you guys know, it was AFC, NFC divisional weekend. We had not a lot of close games. I think maybe two were close.
Close-ish.
Close-ish, yeah.
Good enough. Depends on how you look at them.
And then we have the teams that are decided. We have the Final Four going on. No wild card team made it this year.
The 1 and 2 and the 1 and 2.
The 1 and 2. The four best teams of football are moving on. Also in the show, we're going to be doing the crew versus the quarter. We're going to do the playoff predictions, and then I'm adding in some NBA and NHL games that the crew is going to have to pick on. Remember, well, I don't think Elijah was here, but we announced who the winner was of the NFL season.
Oh, we did.
The coin was the winner. And Adam was in second, I was in third, and you were in last.
And if you guys aren't familiar with how that works out, we make our predictions for each and every week's game, and then we flip a coin, and the coin picks either the home team or the away team, and year after year after year, it never fails, the coin wins. It is just a guru, and which it really freaks us out when it was picking upset after upset, and we're like, what does the coin know that we don't know?
It works. And then also we're going to be doing a kind of like a fantasy challenge. We're going to be doing the playoff pick'em. We're going to be picking a quarterback, a running back, a wide receiver, and a defense. So we're going to see who can do the best. There will be a punishment this time. We said it last time, but next week
no apple cider vinegar.
We'll figure out something. And then we're playing.
I didn't lose last week.
And then
we're the last one.
We're throwing out a new game today. It's called Say What. We'll get to it later tonight. It's going to be hilarious. So we're going to get to it a little later. But let's talk about the games today, or starting this weekend. Sorry, I cannot talk today. I'm tired, guys. I'm sorry. We had a long weekend. All right, so let's go start with the Saturday afternoon game. It was in Kansas City. Andrew Luck and the Colts going against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. And the Chiefs come out 31-13.
Next. Oh, wait, we're not doing it this week.
Andrew Luck,
Cream Hunt.
Andrew Luck, 19 of 36, 203 yards passing, 1 touchdown. Mac, 9 carries for 46 yards.
Man, I mean, if at this point you think Patrick Mahomes is anything short of the NFL MVP, you're watching a completely different league. He is a man amongst boys out there, playing absolutely lights out. But what really surprised me was Williams on that run game. They've established a solid run game. The defense looked fantastic. And I know a lot of people were saying, oh, the Colts are a scary team going into this. I said all week long, the Colts are still the Colts. I like Andrew Luck. That defense was decent, but they didn't stand a chance. The Chiefs are just by far the superior team. And they are a scary team. I mean, they just played lights out. When you put up a 31 spot with 0 touchdown passes from Mahomes, it just shows that. And it's not like he had a bad game, but he just didn't have one of his traditional games, and they still put up 31 points and kind of beat the crap out of the Colts in the snow. So it's a team that's pretty well-rounded, and the matchup next week is going to be very, very fun.
Mahomes wasn't Mahomes, would you say, in this game? I mean, only 270 yards passing?
No, I'm not saying he didn't have a great game. I'm just saying that defense, or that defense, the run game came alive. Yeah. So this is the thing. You don't win Super Bowls with bad defenses, and you don't win Super Bowls without a run game. You can throw the ball all day long in the playoffs, and that'll only get you so far. You've got to establish that run game, and they really did. Williams was going off. They had a solid run game. The checkdowns were there, and that defense definitely stepped up. The Colts couldn't get anything going. The game, it's like Andy Reid knew their game plan going into it. It was just watching a whole nother level, which makes me extremely, extremely excited for their chances against the Patriots, who are in the AFC Championship again.
How do you guys feel, or how do you think Andy Reid feels with them weight off his shoulder now that he is no longer one and done?
Oh, it's still there.
Is it?
I don't think so. I think it's no. It's Andy Reid. They're just like the Bengals, right? They get to the playoffs and they lose first round every single time, and so he finally got that win. Yep. And he is the one who believed in Mahomes before anybody else, right? Mm-hmm. Drafted him, pretty much said, "See you later, Alex Smith. This is the new guy." And I think it's kind of like this new team, right? This new
he's the new face of the franchise, and they finally got that win where it's like, okay, now we can stop focusing on Andy Reid's playoff record, and with now brand new team, new coach, who dis, let's see what's going to happen with this. And I think it finally got the weight off. But I mean, with this team, the sky is the limit. But now you got to beat Brady next week. But we'll see.
I mean, but they've got the depth to do it. You forget that they have people like Watkins out there. They've got so much depth at every position. We were talking about the Rams throughout the season, about the depth that they had, and that was going to be the key to their success as they go week after week and take out these big teams. The Chiefs are in the exact same boat, and I would be, if I was a betting man, I mean, and I know we'll get to that and our reasons why, but I would say it's going to be a Chiefs-Rams Super Bowl, which, I mean, I couldn't be more excited for. That is the matchup America wants.
Jump into conclusions here. Let's finish talking about the Colts here.
I'm just saying that's.
Can we see the Colts back in the playoffs next year? Is Andrew Luck someone that can get these Colts back? And with a possible rumor of Le'Veon Bell joining the Colts next year, can the Colts be a very dangerous team coming into next year? Could they be AFC South winners?
Any team that wins a playoff game, you can't count out. They still won a playoff game.
Yeah.
They're still a team that has had postseason success, and I still think Andrew Luck is going to get some rings in his career. I absolutely believe that. I like him. He's a great quarterback. So no, you absolutely don't count them out. They're a solid football team.
Yeah, and they're only a few pieces away of being the AFC contenders. I don't know if they necessarily need Le'Veon Bell. I feel like Mac did a really good job for them this year. But they definitely have some pieces they have to fill.
But can you imagine the two-headed monster of Bell and Mac?
Yeah.
Don't take that away from me. We're talking about Le'Veon Bell going to the Jets, and that's like the one thing I'm holding on to in the offseason. Right?
Yeah, and Adam had his hopes for a good coach going in here too. So
you guys talk about that?
No,
we'll get there.
But also, let's talk. Andrew Luck had 0 completions in the first quarter. Mm-hmm. 0.
That's not defense. You've got to have the defense.
Because we've seen the Chiefs give up so many points this year.
Right, but here's the difference. You saw that. So I'm gonna use this as an analogy, and I'm not being biased here because I hate the Patriots. But look at them throughout the regular season. Oh, are they gone? Are they done? The cream rises to the crop or to the top in the playoffs. You play your best football. You step to the top. Look at what the Patriots did today. They put their best foot forward, and they blew a very, very good, I almost said San Diego, Los Angeles team out of the water. The same thing with the Chiefs. It's not that you save it all for the postseason or anything like that, but the teams that go the distance, that win the Super Bowl, are playing their best football in January.
Okay. So that we'll talk about now is the Saturday night game.
Next.
And Elijah's
we got a comment from the Platform Sports Talk Show. If you guys haven't checked them out, Wednesday nights, hop on their YouTube, on their Facebook as well.
Amazing show.
They put on a great show. They crack me up, Josh. Like what's funny is they go live, and I was at work this last week, and Josh was somewhere else, and I throw a comment on there. Then I see Josh comment on their page. I was like, hey, he's watching too. Like they put on a great show, so check them out. It's the Platform Sports Talk Show on YouTube. They say, what up, fellas? To be the best, you've got to beat the best. Tough hill to climb for the Chiefs versus the Pats.
I want to talk about that here in a moment.
We can just go to that now.
We want to go to that now? Let's go to that now.
Yeah,
let's answer the question.
Let's just skip the Saturday night game.
No. We're going to get back to the Saturday night game. I told you fellas last week told you that the Patriots do not lose at home. They are I think Tom Brady is 19-3 at home in the postseason. That's an incredible record.
I still won't pick them in our weekly pick.
The fact that he has more than 20 games in the postseason and for a record is just...
This is 38th playoff game.
They threw that stat out today that Bill Belichick has more postseason games under his belt than the opposing, I forget his name, the Chargers coach has as a head coach.
Anthony Lynn?
Yeah, as a head coach.
Yeah.
I mean, that's unreal.
Yeah, and Tom Brady, the last 2 seasons, is 15-0 at home. I knew the Patriots were going to be good at home. I knew no one was going to go in there and beat them. But now the Chiefs got them where they want them, and that's an Arrowhead. Because Tom Brady was pretty poor this year on the road.
They were pretty even splits.
Yeah, I think he was 2-6, 3-4, or 3-5 or something on the road. So the Chiefs got them where they want them. And it's going to be cold next week. It's going to be, there's possible rumors of a snowstorm coming in. So it's going to be probably a very run-type ball game. We're going to see who's got the better running game.
Williams was going off. The Chiefs had that going for them. I'm telling you right now, I know it's not just me when I say the world, the country for anywhere east of New England.
Everything from Massachusetts up. Is
I mean, come on, Mahomes, get it done. This is the
do America a favor.
We do not want a Patriots Super Bowl. You know what's crazy? It has been 8 years since the Patriots have not been in the AFC Championship. I mean, 8 years. We're going on a decade.
That should be a trivia question. When was the last AFC without
the Patriots?
I think it was like Steelers Jets.
I'm tired of talking about them. It was Steelers Jets, I think, because
yeah.
it was Jets and Colts the year before that, wasn't it? Yeah. I mean, we broke that streak. Could have been longer if it weren't for your JETS.
But no, how do you feel with Tom Brady going to Arrowhead?
And I want to know what you think. Is anybody going to stop him? Are the Chiefs going to stop him? Or if not, if you look at the Rams or you look at the Saints, Rams or Saints, can they stop him? Because it's not the Cowboys. Rams or Saints, can they?
Adam Gase is this guy's new head coach.
There's nothing I'm going to be able to say to get by that. Our head coach is Adam Gase.
Such a great career.
Like you have a less than 25% win record over the last 3 years. Hired.
Oh, such a bad.
So does poor weather conditions favor the Pats? I don't know. I don't know if it does.
I don't know.
Not in the Arrowhead. Maybe in a place that's unique to Baltimore, but not in Arrowhead, because you have to deal not only with the cold, but that stadium is loud the entire game.
Yep.
Like those fans come out and it is loud the entire game, and so you have the cold. You can't hear your snap counts. You can't do anything like that. Right now it's really in favor of Kansas City, and I don't see. As someone who's a big Tom Brady fan, I don't see them beating Kansas City in Kansas City. If it was in Foxborough, I think we probably would be going with the home team again.
I would definitely pick New England at home, but you're going to definitely see a Tom Brady football game. He's going to lead his team. It's going to be a good game. I'm not calling a blowout at all. I'm going to say it's going to be in the 20s, like a 21-24 type game. But you can't count out Tom Brady. You cannot count that man out.
One thing,
anything.
A kind of an interesting discussion that they were actually having a little bit on the platform on the Sports Talk show that I was curious about is with all these head coach vacancies, Josh McDaniels at this point could have the pick of the litter if he wanted to. Granted, I think he's terrible. We saw him in Denver. I expressed my opinion on that. But it almost looks like McDaniels is just kind of grooming to take over for Belichick. But how much longer is Belichick's going to be there for? A long, long time.
Tom Brady says he's feeling good.
You don't say that. Tom Brady's done.
Honestly, I'm going to be a little bit different. I think it's going to be a blowout. I think this is going to be the passing of the torch between Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, because I think Patrick Mahomes
I can get on board with
is
that.
like the second coming of like Tom Brady. He's like the better version of Aaron Rodgers. And so we're going to see him now really come to life, and it's going to be like, boom, first year running a team, Super Bowl, and then we're going to be talking about the Chiefs from now because that team is so good and he's so good.
I think that's setting the bar too low. Matthew Stafford is the better version of Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm on board with it.
Thank you. That doesn't get some time for that one. All right.
No, we're agreeing too much though.
Stop. But
so you say a blowout?
I think it's going to be, like I said, obviously not passing the torch. I don't think Brady's going to tank on this one, but we're going to see the end of an era of the greatest quarterback of all time. Whether you want to say it or not, he's at least top 3, and then now you're going to see this Mahomes guy, and it's going to be, hey, there's going to be a lot of people who are probably watching him for the first time like, dang, that kid is good. And if you haven't watched him now, if you're a football fan, don't know who he is, then there's something wrong with you. But there's a lot of the people who only watch the playoffs who are going to say, wow, I haven't seen anybody do stuff like that.
See, we talk so much about the end of an era with Brady, but I honestly think that all of Foxborough is going to disintegrate when Brady's done. You're going to see McDaniels either take over or go somewhere else. They already have their linebacker coach going off to coach another team. Gronkowski probably played his last game in Foxborough today.
He's debating retirement.
Or period. Yeah, because he says he only wants to play for Brady. I do think that I think Brady and Belichick are going to go at the same time, and they're going to retire. And I think Belichick's going to coach still, but he's going to be done.
I mean, but then you got to think of players like maybe the Edelmans, the players who have benefited so much from great coaching, from being under Tom Brady. And are they going to take offers? Are they going to go elsewhere?
Well, I mean, who's going to run the show? Jimmy G? Not anymore. So who's running the show?
Brian Hoyer is the backup quarterback.
Brian Hoyer. I think he's so for that. Like, come on.
So how? I guess it's
Jets would still lose.
I have to play devil's advocate though. What if New England wins? Will this seal? I have to. You have to. What if New England wins? Will this seal the Patriots as the greatest football team, a franchise of all time?
Well, they'll have as many Super Bowls as the Pittsburgh Steelers then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but just like the same quarterback though. Not the Steelers have it amongst two or three different quarterbacks.
It absolutely would.
It doesn't solidify it. They've already solidified that the last Super Bowl, right? It's gonna, and if they win it, then it's gonna be okay. This is the greatest team and the greatest play. I mean, there's gonna be and the greatest coach. You're gonna have everything all in one. But it's gonna be, I don't know. It's gonna be great because it's I don't know. It's gonna be weird, right? Because it's gonna be like, all right, there's gonna be half of us saying, typical Tom Brady, right? You can never count out Tom Brady, and then there's gonna be people who say, man, like, I did not see that coming, right? We have Mahomes, who was just amazing, and he got outplayed by Brady. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be more exciting than the NFC game, that's for sure. The NFC game is going to be so exciting next week.
Yeah, we got to move on to the Saturday's game. We got to talk about the Cowboys and the Rams. Give it up to, I'm going to give a shout out to one player in particular. Give it up to C.J. Anderson.
C.J. Anderson.
Okay. The reason why he got let go by Denver. Okay. That's okay because we have Philip Lindsay. All right. Shut up.
Said no one ever.
Said the guy who just had surgery?
Yeah.
All right. So, goes to Carolina, gets let go, goes to Oakland, never plays a snap for the Raiders. Rams pick him up just a couple weeks before the season ends. Dude just became a monster on the field. And then him and Gurley teamed up for over 200 rushing yards and just tore apart that Dallas
I'm pretty
defense.
sure C.J. Anderson probably ate a few of the Towel boys while he was in Oakland.
How big that dude is.
You know what I really took away from that game that just kind of blew me away? So what you see a lot out of that Rams offense is you don't see just the regular drop back, the regular play action.
Trickery.
You see the sweep around with Woods, or is it going to Gurley, or is it a drop back pass? That confusion in the backfield has worked all season long, and it continues to work in the postseason. And what do they say? If it's not broken, don't fix it. And that was their key to success this last week, and that's going to be their key to success. I honestly think they go in and they have a huge game. I think I already said I've got the Rams in the Super Bowl. Other than C.J. Anderson forgetting which team he plays on and hanging out on the Cowboy bench for a minute, they've got their heads on straight, and I mean that was just an absolutely assertive. I'm not coming down on you. The Cowboys have a phenomenal defense. If you told me the Rams were going to come in there and throw for 300, 400 yards and win, I'd be like, okay, well, yeah, I could buy that. If you said that it was going to be a 3-3, 3-6 game, something like that, I'd say, yeah, I'd buy that. If you told me that you were going to have multiple 100-yard rushers or C.J. Anderson was going to come in there and the Rams were going to win on the ground, I tell you, get the heck out of my house. Like, you're on crack. That is not going to happen.
No, the Cowboys defense top 5 this year, and the way we've been playing the last few games have been just lights out. And to see our team look like we were a bunch of rookies in there, and no one knew what was going on. They were just running down the center. It got to the point where our coach decides, we don't know what we're doing, so let's take out our second all-pro linebacker and put in Sean Lee, who's been a bum all season because he was just desperate. Because
just got off the
maybe let's get a veteran in there. Maybe he can try to figure it out. And obviously, that didn't work, but they made our team look like a fool because we had no idea what was going on, and it's all that crap. And I was getting bothered this week because I'm tired of the Sean McVay talk, right? The boy genius, but I mean, it showed. And then they'd say, he's 32, 33.
Like 3 years old.
He's like 3 years old.
He's got 3 years on me, and he's coaching a team of this caliber.
But you got to see that when your quarterback throws for 186 yards, Goff didn't need to throw the ball because the running game was so good. And it wasn't just running down the center every single time. Like you said, the backfield, the pitches, and they were catching us off guard every single play. We had no idea what was going on.
Unfortunately, I didn't get to see the game because we were in Los Alamos, but I did watch the highlights. The cameraman didn't even know who had the ball half the time. He would follow somebody, and Robert Woods had it up the sideline. The Rams had 6 rushers yesterday. 6. Okay.
With the way, we talk about the way that the Eagles gave the Saints fits, and we'll get to that game today. I see the Rams just marching all over them. If you guys, and I know, if you guys are Rams fans out there, if you're Cowboys fans, whoever's watching, call us 505-250-9318. We want to hear your perspective, your take, and see who's going to be your Super Bowl picks. In my opinion, that was a dominant game. If you can take a team and take their strength and tell them, and just shove it down their throat. It's not that they had these elusive, and you talk about trickery, it wasn't so much trickery. 9 times out of 10, they handed it off to C.J. Anderson, or it was a dump-off pass to Woods. There wasn't a ton going on, but they just enforced their will. The offensive line got big for St. Louis.
Oh, you wash your mouth out, boy.
San Diego Chargers, St. Louis Rams.
Wash your mouth out.
Hey, and we were still only 1 touchdown. We were 1 4th down conversion away. We almost stopped them on a 4th and goal, which was a blown holding call. But We won't get to the bad calls of that game because we got beat, but it was a lot closer than what the stats show. That's for sure.
I wanted to talk to you. How do you feel about your rookie wide receiver? He had an amazing game. Michael Gallup had 6 receptions for 119 yards. Does this solidify that you guys now have a 1-2 receiving combo?
I hope so. Gallup's actually been good for us all year, and he's kind of a love-hate for me because I like him as a receiver, but it bothers me that, especially the game against Seattle, we saw that Dak Prescott a lot of times uses Michael Gallup as his first read, and that drives me crazy when you have Amari Cooper. And they show how many replays of Amari Cooper burning the DB every single time being wide open, and he's looking at Gallup, and it's like, dude, throw it to Cooper 100 times. Like that guy gets open every single time. But it's nice to finally have a 1-2 because we never had a 1-2, right? We've had Dez, we've had T.O. We never had that second guy. It was always supposed to be Terrence Williams, who I've hated his whole career.
Miles Austin.
It was heated from the beginning, though. I mean, how'd you feel about that Amari Cooper skirmish out there and how he was? I mean, he was going toe-to-toe with Peters from the beginning of the game, even after the game.
Yeah. Well, he did say he wanted to expose Peters and Talib for what they really were.
And other than that touchdown pass, he didn't too much. Real quick, we got a comment from Platform. They say Belichick knows how to take away your best player, so it all goes down to coaching. And Andy Reid cannot coach not to lose. Must be fearless. So that's big.
His goal is to destroy Patrick Mahomes this weekend. His goal is to take him out of the game, keep him from running away from the pocket. That's what Bill Belichick is going to do this weekend. He's going to make sure that Mahomes can stay still and make sure that, because when you've seen it, I mean, we've seen it all season long. When Mahomes moves out of the pocket, he makes magical plays. I mean, he did it to us. He did a no-look pass. Like, how does that even happen?
Season. Real quick, we got a couple comments out there. Johnny Bacchus says Rams showed up to play and Cowboys did not. We would have scored even more, but some bad passes were not picked up due to Butterfingers. And there were some errant throws too. I mean, you still got Dak, and I will say I was talking to a coworker of mine, and Dak was, I forget he's young, so I've given him a lot more flack than I should. And then Lil Nish, he says Amari Cooper is the new Dez Bryant for Dallas. He's definitely their number one going out there. And then with, like you said, the 1-2 punch with Gallup.
As somebody who is very critical of Dak Prescott all season, he played really well yesterday. I mean, we didn't convert a lot of stuff. That 4th down was a bad call. That's more the coach, but I like the way Dak Prescott.
That was a terrible call.
The only thing I have for Dak Prescott, and a lot of Cowboy fans see it, is there's a lot of times when he rolls out and he has all day to run and he doesn't run. I don't know when he became a non-running quarterback, because when he first came to our team, that was one of his specialties. And this season that's been the storyline this whole season, is there's plenty of times when it's a 4th and 1 or 3rd and 5, and he has 8-9 yards ahead and he tries to fit a throw in. It's like, dude, just run the ball. And you see the games in Seattle when he runs the ball, great things happen. And I was like, do that more often. He doesn't need to be a running quarterback because he has the arm, but there's a lot of opportunities that he's missing because he's not.
You want to blame one person for this loss, and that's Isaiah Trujillo, former member of the ABQ Sports Crew, because all on Facebook and social media, he said that Dallas was going to blow away the Rams. And then right before the game ended, he was apologizing to God, saying that he's sorry for every bad word that he has ever said.
And there's a play I got to ask you about in that game. But first, Johnny Box says there were multiple plays that Prescott could have run on, but was too focused on the passing game. That's very true. Rookie QB mistakes, situational awareness in and out of the pocket would have been better. I agree. Now, one thing, and kind of transitioning right from that, and I want to get yours because I haven't talked to Elijah, our resident Cowboys fan, since that game. Take me through that. So there was a huge play where Dak scrambles, gets away, opens up receivers downfield, hits Gallup deep, and that changes the game dramatically. There was also a play where he's scrambling, grabbed by his own lineman, and called for a sack.
Like I said, I don't want to turn this into a refs game, but I don't know if what's his name, Johnny Bacchus, you said?
Johnny Bacchus.
If he's a Cowboy fan, but all Cowboy fans know, and you guys are not going to like this, but every game we play, there's at least 1 to 3 calls that go against us. It's just being a Cowboy fan, the refs are always against us, and we're used to it. But there was a few games that right away they called that hands to the face on Byron Jones. It was a 3rd and 15 or something like that. Yes, it was a hand face. It had nothing to do with the play. It was such a tacky call that led to a touchdown. Then you have that play where our own guys grabbed him, trying to push him away from the DB, and they call grasping, and it's like the guy wasn't even close, and that took us out of field goal range. We were in field goal range, and they called us grasp.
What is he doing holding on? I know he's trying to get him away.
He's shoving him away.
Push him. Do something to hold him.
It was a bad call. Right? That was a bad call. And I told you earlier when the Eagles went on another pinnacle moment of the game. 4th and 1, they go for it. Taco Charlton, they grabbed his shoulder pads and threw him to the ground and missed call. 3 big calls in that game that could have swayed the game.
But I'll also say, when we talk about big calls, and I know you already alluded to this, one of the worst calls I've ever seen is you've got, I know it's 1 yard, but it's a long 1 yard, and you've got Aaron Donald on the other side. You have Fowler. You have Ndamukong Suh, and you're going to run up the middle on the longest 1 yard I've ever seen.
No, yeah. That talk from bad calls from the ref to bad calls of Scott Linehan. That was not. I mean, the Rams have 2 of the biggest dudes in the world in the right off the ball, the tackle, and that's easily on a 4th and 1. The first time we did the 4th one, we ran it down the throat and we lucked out. The second time should have easily been a pitch, something different. We have one of the fastest running backs in the league. It was not a good call. I don't think anybody from the start, regardless of knowing the situation after the fact, thought that was a good play call.
So we got Johnny says, "No, I'm a Rams fan and loving this season. Finally, it's been about 17 years since we've had a real shot." I'm loving this because it's the week that not only the Cowboys get booted out of the postseason, but the people from the platform that you see in the comments, they're actually big Rams fans. And then we got Johnny here in Albuquerque is a Rams fan. They're showing up for you this week.
I have no ill will against the Rams. I'm not mad at them. I really hope that they do well because again, when you're part of a sorry franchise like that, you deserve to get some winning once in a while. And the Rams have been tough, right? I mean, I like Kurt Warner.
I like Kurt Warner. Who doesn't like
Kurt Warner? Go Rams. The teams we're in right now, I don't hate
except for the
Patriots.
Except for the Patriots.
I like the Patriots. The GOAT. I don't care who wins this year. Now the Eagles are out. Thank you, Saints. I don't care who wins now. That's why I'm excited because I can watch without caring.
One thing before we move on to today's games is there was one recorded sack in the Cowboys Ram game. It was by your offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Okay, but that means Dallas did a freaking good job of keeping Suh and Donald away.
Well, you got to remember, Suh's going up against Zach Martin. Zach Martin's all pro.
But your rookie was going up against Donald.
It would depend. Yeah, it would just kind of depend on the situation.
So give it credit, kudos to your rookie for
and you got to remember, a lot of the big plays, Ezekiel Elliott made some big blocks too every time we had penetration.
Real quick before we move on from the Cowboys, rumor right now is Jason Garrett's going to be signed to a long-term extension.
I ruined Elijah's day yesterday.
I hope it's not a long-term extension.
So we have a group chat, and I was in the middle between games, the hockey games in Los Alamos, and I sent it out that they were going to sign, and Elijah blames Adam for sending that message.
I didn't even do it.
I think I was driving at the time.
Johnny Buck says, "Get rid of Jeff Fisher and move back to LA. It must be the recipe. At least get rid of Jeff Fisher."
Yeah, nobody likes Jeff Fisher. It's unfortunate. I really hope they don't extend him, but I think they will because we got that one win against Seattle. But really, what would make it at least a little bit easier to swallow is if we fired Scott Linehan and we got a new offensive coordinator.
I think that's what they're planning.
Our offense was bad this year, and the play calling. Cowboys are notorious for running on first down. You can bet that 99.9% of the time we're going to run on first down.
Ezekiel Elliott, though, man.
But we do that all the time, and it's our play calls. So if we keep Garrett, if we get rid of Linehan, I'll be okay with it. Even though I've been wanting to get rid of Garrett for the last 5 years. I mean, 2 playoff wins in 10 years. Come on, man.
All right, so we're going to move on to today's games. It was New England 41 and the LA Chargers 28. This game was over by halftime. It was
boring playoff game.
35-7. At halftime, Chargers make a late push, but this will solidify as Phillip Rivers will be one of the quarterbacks that will never see a Super Bowl, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's possible. It's a boring game.
This was their chance.
No, we have to talk about this one.
I hate the Patriots so much.
Look at the Patriots shutting down the run game. Gordon, 9 carries for 15 yards. Jackson, 1 carry for 4 yards. I mean, New England just shut it down.
Tom Brady was absolutely phenomenal, though.
The Melvin Gordon, he's garbage.
So, this is the and of course, okay, we got the Patriots fan in the comments. Cowboys QB might have been sacked by his own guy, but the Jets QB runs into his own men and fumbles, alluding to the illustrious butt fumble, which will never die. Even though Mark Sanchez even got a shot in the NFL this last year, which is crazy enough. But so here's my thing with today's game. I watched pretty much every minute of it. And kudos to you, Tom Brady looked legendary. It was Tony Romo was alluding to a lot of the plays that he was making just from a quarterback perspective. He said the way he'd flinch his body to draw people off and then just no look pass. He knew where people were. The one errant throw he made all day was because he really didn't look, and he threw the ball for a screen and it bounced off a defender's helmet because he's done it so many times that he knows where his players are going to be. And I think that's really the key to this team right now, is that they have found so much success throughout the years. They have been there so many times. They have more experience than all the other teams combined, all the other quarterbacks, defensive coordinators, head coaches. They know how to win and how to get it done, and it showed on the field today.
I really wish they had like an EKG or something they can hook up to see heart rates, because I feel like every team is probably super nervous and their hearts are pounding, and I just feel like the Patriots is just like any other day. Like it's just like it means nothing to them, because it's like we've been here so many times. And granted, it's a new team, but Tom Brady and them, it's like I've done this so many times that I'm not even nervous. Like this is just another game.
Tom Brady was 34-44, 343 yards, 1 touchdown pass.
And Greg says Tom Brady looked at his best today when his O-line was solid, which is very true. I mean, one thing that I don't understand, and somebody explained to me, how is Edelman not broken? Like, that dude takes some of the worst, nastiest hits I've ever seen in my entire life. He's all of 3'8". Like,
3'8".
He gets flipped around, torn, beat, thrown around, and he comes up with the ball. I will say one of the greatest catches I've ever seen in my life was in the Super Bowl against Atlanta, that he was able to juggle around and get. That was a huge, huge key to their success today, is that in those key situations, those third downs, when they actually did need to move the ball early on, Edelman was there and he made the big plays.
Give it up to, what was his name? Sony Michel?
Sony Michel.
Yeah.
Sony Michel, yeah.
24 carries, 129 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Just give it up to the Patriots in general, because I got to take a nap for the second half of the game because I didn't watch it because it was over.
The one thing you gotta look at is Tom Brady. The way he looks at his receivers, you were talking about this, they showed it. He looked right, looked left, knew where he was going. He already knew he was going to the right and just launched it, and it went over to Julian Edelman. And it was just, Tony Romo was talking about it. He said, I've never seen a guy study his team more than Tom Brady. And he knew where they were going to be even before the play even started.
All right, so a couple...
Uh-oh.
All right, so Edelman is one of the most underrated wide receivers in the league. When we need him, he is there. I agree. He's extremely underrated, even as good as he is. And 4th Street Frebs says Josh is sexy. Just for the Z Coil for Life. 4th Street Frebs is a really cool local YouTube channel. Check them out. They're absolutely hysterical. I watch them every single video they show. So check out 4th Street Frebs on YouTube. They're hysterical.
All right, guys. Well, we got to move on to the game we really need to talk about, and that's the Saints and the Eagles. Well, it came down to the last drive for the Eagles. Everybody in New Orleans knew in their gut that something was going to go wrong, and that was the missed field goal by the Saints to really put it away. And they were going, crap, we gave Nick Foles one more shot at beating us.
Being up 6, all they need to do is score a touchdown and hit their field goal. And I know I was not feeling good for that game. It's like, oh my gosh. Because again, you start seeing this, you start all the we won't say all the nicknames that Nick Foles gets, but all that stuff starts getting thrown around. And this dude is just clutch. And he solidified a starting position next year on some team, maybe even the Eagles, who knows. But it's like, oh, here we go. And they started driving, and I mean, they did everything right, less Alshon Jeffrey missing the pass and going right to Lattimore. But it was getting me nervous because I was like, don't ruin this for me. As a Vader Cowboy fan, do not let the Eagles advance on this.
They started out 14-0, and the
I thought it was going to be a Patriot game.
I had a feeling being in New Orleans that the Saints were going to settle down. They've got an experienced quarterback in Drew Brees, and they were going to find their way back. And I've just got innate football knowledge in that aspect. So, anyways, let's set the scene here real quick. If you guys haven't heard, the camera went black. If you guys haven't heard, we're going to get the camera back up and running real quick. It's been 30. Sorry, guys. Give us just a second. I'm going to get that camera up. Info. Oh, there we go. Hey, no, we're good. All right. Wait, maybe. Nope.
Adam, you're not watching live. Come on.
Cue the elevator music.
Good. All right, cool. So, all right, thank you, platform. We got it worked out. So here's the thing. If you guys hadn't heard, let's set the scene. This is something that at first I thought it was a meme. I thought it was a joke. And then we find out it really happened. And anybody who's played high school football, played any kind of competitive sports, this will get your blood going. So Sean Payton, coach of the Saints, pulls into his locker room, getting this team pumped up for this week, rolls in with a Lombardi trophy and $225,000 stacked up in cash, which is the bonus for a player winning the Super Bowl. And he said, you guys want this? Win 3 games.
3
Yeah. I mean, if that doesn't get your blood going, if that doesn't get you pumped to go out there, that got me going. I'm not a Saints fan, but what a coaching move.
I want to say something real quick. How about the Saints' secret weapon? And that's Hill. That dude is amazing. That's what Tim Tebow should have been. Tim Tebow should have been that kind of player that will accept any role. Yeah. That quarterback, he was a blocker. He was a receiver.
He threw a touchdown pass that got called back.
But what a cannon that was.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, he's a backup quarterback, and he's been doing that all season. Didn't do it against the Cowboys, though. But he's been doing that all season where he comes in on these little random things where he'll get the ball and usually do kind of the wildcat option because he can run pretty good. Yeah. And then every once in a while, because you think he's going to run, then he'll throw it. Or like today, he threw that bomb, and it was a perfect throw. Unfortunate call back from a holding call, but the Saints started off really slow on this one, and they will not start off slow against the Rams next week. I think it's the jitters of being off. Most of their stars didn't even play the last game of the season, so you have kind of like really a 2-week bye for them, and you can see the rust right off the bat. Drew Brees throwing interception first drive. That's not going to happen.
He underthrew twice. Yeah. So
I see the Rams and Rams fans being the biggest Cowboys fans this season because Cowboys did 2 big favors for the Rams. First, they showed them how to beat the Saints. The Saints were steamrolling people, coming in, winning 45, putting up 45 points 2 or 3 weeks in a row. Nobody could stop them. Cowboys came in, they painted the blueprint on how to beat the Saints. You think everybody else wasn't watching that? No. Suddenly the Saints weren't scoring so much. Suddenly they were losing a few games. Suddenly they're sneaking by the Eagles instead of blowing them out 45-7 or whatever their original game was. So yeah, thank the Cowboys for that. And then again, the Cowboys ushered them into the NFC Championship game. So there's that. So Rams fans,
you're welcome.
Tip your hat to a Cowboys fan today. Honestly, this game is going to be a decent game. Here's the thing. I don't see that Saints defense being able to contain what the Rams are going to bring, and that Rams defense is just too good. I see the Rams walking away.
Can you look up the score real quick? What was the last score between the Rams and Saints this season?
I can look it up.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought that was like a joke.
I just think it's going to... Let's see. So we got... Tim Tebow is a Saint.
Congratulations to Tim Tebow getting engaged to like Miss Universe.
I saw that.
Man.
Good job.
She's pretty, man.
Well, did you expect anything else?
30, oh, so that's Minnesota. Here we go. It was 45-35, so again, shootout. So
I think...
Are we going back to Tebow?
We should.
I saw that article. I was like, good for Tim, man. Wow.
He may not be playing football, but he's definitely gotten out of the
He's winning on and off.
He didn't get very many touchdowns, but he's scoring now. Come on, seriously.
No,
all right, so
he's very good looking though.
So moving on, we're gonna do now the crew versus the quarter. We're gonna pick our playoff games first, and I'll give you guys some random NBA games.
We're picked mine already as we went.
Yeah, pretty much. So the first one is gonna be the NFC Championship. It's gonna be the Rams at the Saints. Once again, in New Orleans. They played earlier this year in New Orleans.
And we want to get your guys' picks, too. Feel free to call in, 505-250-9318. We'd love to hear your takes on these games, or comment in the comments below. Just let us know what you think as we go into one of my favorite weekends in the NFL. It's NFC-AFC Championship weekend.
And it's the last... almost coming to an end, guys.
What about Pro Bowl, huh?
Am I right? Yeah. Pro Bowl. Brian Urlacher coaching the NFC, huh?
Yeah, we got a kick returner in it.
Is it Brian Urlacher with hair? With his hair?
All right, so the first game, Rams Saints. We're going to start with Adam on this one.
Rams and Saints. Rams. Like I shared my picks as we went along. I think that Rams Offense, just the way they mix it up, it's worked throughout the season. I think they've so they were very close to being the Saints last time. That was a great game, but that was pre the Cowboys painting the picture on how to beat the Saints. I think they walk away with it, and I think they're going to win by double digits. I think this is going to be the Rams to lose.
My heart says Rams just because I'm thinking about if it's a Rams-Chiefs Super Bowl, like how cool that would be with the weird Rams offense and then Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs offense, and just how amazing that would be for football fans.
Like a 62-60.
Yeah, which would be the best thing ever, right? A shootout Super Bowl with just going to the end and everybody just scoring on everybody. But my brain is telling me Drew Brees does not lose at home, and he will not be as sloppy as he was. And I think what we saw in the second half with Thomas, I think that's going to be more indicative of the entire game next week, because it kind of took him a half to wake up, and that's not going to happen. So I'm going Saints next week.
You're going to go Saints.
Mm-hmm. No, you too.
I'm going to say that the two-headed monster in the running game is going to be too much for New Orleans to handle.
C.J. Anderson is not going to get more than 35
Dude,
yards.
You act like C.J. Anderson is like this established player, and they're like,
that was one
hell of a game, but he's not going to go out and do it again.
He's going to have 30 yards next week.
That's not what I'm talking about. Would you guys let me finish what I'm talking about here?
You said C.J. Anderson and Gurley, right?
Well, it is a two-headed monster. How are you going to stop both of them? Because when one gets tired, you give C.J. Anderson the ball on the goal line. He's just going to pound it in.
You know, Josh is that guy that like someone off like the Dolphins has a big week, and he's like trading his number one pick for him in fantasy to pick him up.
Yeah,
he's a monster.
Yes, you have Todd Gurley. You don't need a two-headed monster. Gurley, in and of itself, is a four-headed monster, right? C.J. Anderson is. He had one good game against the Cowboys. That dude's. Come on.
Johnny Bucket says Rams versus Pats. Time for some 17-year-old revenge. That's very possible. Very possible.
Very exact.
That would be. If I was a Rams fan and I had that matchup, though, I'd be scared as hell.
Yeah, I'm picking the Rams. I have to. I think it's just going to happen.
Brees versus Brady is Greg's pick. Heck of a game. That would be. Honestly, there's not going to be a bad Super Bowl this year. There's really not.
Yeah.
You got some great teams in it.
The coin went with tails, so that means they're going for the away team. Elijah, the only one picking the Saints.
There you go.
AFC Championship. Going to be 4:40 Mountain Time, and that will be a Chiefs victory.
Are they both going to be on Sunday? Or is it one?
Yeah, both on Sunday.
Good. I'm tired of these
one after another.
All right.
So I have Patrick Mahomes leading his team to an upset over the Patriots, and I don't know if you consider it an upset, but they're going to stop Tom Brady of going to the Super Bowl, and it's going to be close. I'm going to say by a field goal or two, since 3 to 6 points.
Chiefs by 60. No, I'm not going to pick the Patriots because they're the spawn of Satan. But besides that, if you want some football reasons why, So yes, they blew out a great team today. But like you said, the record on the road hasn't been great. All the Chiefs are doing is winning. That's all they're doing, and they continue to do it. Nobody's picked out a formula that completely shuts them down. They're showing they can do it through the air. They're doing it through the ground, and now that defense is stepping up, they're going to have the answer. And like you said, it's going to be a cold game. Greg says, I hate all of you. Well, we hate the Patriots. What do you expect of us?
I do not hate the
Patriots. I want a new dang Super Bowl.
So, honestly, I'm not picking Brady. You think he's the GOAT. I'm sure you're.
I do, but like I said earlier, I think the home team has a major advantage in the AFC. If it was going through Foxborough, I would pick the Patriots. But I think Kansas City, their fans are notorious for being loud, right? Record-breaking loud. And it's going to be cold.
Yeah.
Which Brady and them, that's something they're used to. They have a stadium, outdoor stadium in Boston. But I think just, again, Andy Reid getting that huge weight off his shoulder of finally getting a playoff win. I think this team is just, the sky's the limit for them. So, I do think it's probably going to be a blowout, too. It's going to be kind of that passing of the AFC torch here.
Here's a good take. So, Greg says, we have beat them once, we can do it again. But here's the difference. You look at the difference. Not only are you an Arrowhead, you squeaked by 2 points last
3
time?
points, yeah.
But here's the difference. You look at the game today. You look at Saints-Eagles. Yes, the Eagles still lost. They lost by a touchdown. How much did they lose by last time?
41 points.
41 points last time. You get a picture painted of you throughout the season, and the Chiefs have been nothing on the rise. And one thing you've got to think about as a Patriots fan is think back to games like the Lions. You lost to the Lions. Imagine games like that. You're like, oh well, we're going to win the AFC. Those little games along the way, they make a huge impact come postseason. This would be in Foxborough. Everybody in the right mind would be picking the Patriots right now. Because it is on the road in Arrowhead, and the teams are what they are right now. In my opinion, you got to go Chiefs. And what's the quarter got?
No.
Stupid quarter. I swear. I'm tired of this quarter because it's always right, and I hate it so much.
New England.
Let's see. Greg says the difference is the coaches. Belichick will find the weakness and exploit it. That's what he does, and I am not acknowledging that.
Isn't that just when they think about, again, how the tables would be turning right now, but when they have the losses to the Lions, the Titans, the Jaguars, it's like, those are the teams you lost to this year.
Greg loves
that caused you to not have home field advantage.
Yeah. So here's the thing: are we going to break out Giudini this year? I've been
man. We have to get that guy out of retirement, man.
You guys, we want to take it back to old school ABQ Sports Crew.
Elijah has a tortoise.
Tortoise of all things.
That was going on a very well record. I think we tried to submit videos to like ESPN and all that. He was 8-0 before his first loss.
He would put like 2 plates of food with the different teams on it, and which one with the tortoise. Giudini was a guru. He was a guru of a turtle.
I think I still have that hat too. That's my mom. That's my mom's turtle. So
do you think it was all an accident, or was it on tortoise?
Yeah.
Stop, dude, get out of here.
All right. Hey, Johnny Baca says Brady is the best quarterback ever.
Yes.
And I hate him, but I don't see any quarterback better than him. Oh, and if you're going to tell me, then you can't mention Deflategate because that was total BS. There's a huge, I won't get into that another time. There's so many asterisks around that order.
Let's just say it's going to be a heck of a football game for the AFC Championship.
No asterisk.
I'm excited. That's all you can ask for is good football.
Yeah.
And the Patriots to lose.
Okay. So we don't have time to do other pick'ems right now, so I want to get into the other crew versus quarter. We got a game to do too. So I want to do fantasy pick'em. We're going to pick a quarterback, a running back, a wide receiver, and a defense. Loser next week will have to do a punishment.
Cream hunt.
All right, so we're going to start. We'll go with whoever won crew versus a quarter.
Jaguars, not Jaguars. Huh?
What?
I don't know. I don't get it.
Jaguars.
All right, Adam, you are selecting the first quarterback, then me, and then Elijah.
If we're going to go quarterback, Patrick Mahomes.
Elijah is going, or Adam, sorry. Mahomes. I'm going to go with Drew Brees.
I guess I'll go with Tom Brady.
Elijah, you pick.
If you have to.
Elijah, you pick a running back.
This is the best pick 'em at this point in the year because they're all superstars.
I'll go with the Chefs running back. Not Kareem Hunt.
Williams.
Yes.
Cool. I'll go with Todd freaking Gurley.
Jerk. It's my pick.
Shoot. I mean, Josh will go with
Thanks.
Todd.
I'll go with
No.
Josh will go with C.J. Anderson, the two-headed monster.
Was it White that had all the touchdowns today for Patriots?
No, it's Michelle.
Sonny Michelle. I could go with Kamara, but I feel like they'll be watching him. Let's go with Sonny Michelle.
It's funny. Both of you have a Chief and a Patriot. It's hilarious.
Well, there's 4 teams. There's not a lot of options.
Nobody's picking. No, I think I'm the only one to pick a Ram player and a Saints player. So wide receiver, Adam.
A wide receiver, Michael Thomas.
I am going to go with Edelman.
I didn't even think about Tyreek Hill. That is the
And Elijah, a defense.
Tyreek Hill is the most underrated receiver in the NFL.
Defense, I'll go with the Rams. I guess.
I like that pick.
It's mostly offensive teams here, so
I'm going to go with this. Oh, man.
I know. No defense is going to be great this week. There's going to be 50 points put up by everybody.
I'm going to say the Chiefs.
The Chefs.
I'll go Saints.
I was going to go Saints, but I was like...
Nobody's going Patriots because you know Mahomes is putting up points.
All right, so we will see what the punishment will be next week. So, who's going to lose?
I like how we go into it not knowing what's going to happen. You have to jump off a bridge. Yeah.
Alrighty, it is time for our brand new game
show.
It is called Say What, and what I'm going to do, I got these headphones. Okay, you are going to put them on with music playing.
I got it.
I'm going to give you, I'm going to say a word or like a sentence to you, or a couple words, and you have to guess what I'm saying.
Sports related?
Yes, it's sports related.
All right, I got this. I can read lips like a connoisseur.
Like a what?
I feel like it fits. All right, so essentially the idea is I'm not going to be able to hear anything because I'm going to have music blaring. He's going to voice something. I got to pick the right word. I've played this with friends before, and it's a lot harder than it sounds to actually try to read lips. It's not easy. So this is going to suck. I'm going to look like a moron.
What else is
Hey, I was waiting for it. I knew I set myself up for that. We got to keep this low from the mic or else it's going to like break the copyright rules for YouTube.
Put your headphones on.
Put that noise canceling on.
Can you hear a word I'm saying?
I can't hear a thing, bro.
You're an idiot.
I hate
Are we
you,
starting?
Adam.
All right, yes, we're starting, okay?
I hate you, Adam.
Are we starting?
Yeah.
I hate you, Adam.
I can't hear.
Okay, so the first one, okay?
One word.
No.
One word? That's a pyramid game?
First word, okay? Our first sentence.
Wait, I can't read your lips. Talk to me.
Okay. Breeze.
Priest.
No, let me say it first. Let me say it first for the fans.
He can't hear you.
Okay, I'm gonna change it up. Tom Brady is the GOAT.
Stop banjos.
Tom Brady is the GOAT.
Hold on, time out.
Slap banjos?
Have him take off his headphones real fast.
Take off your own.
Sports related, moron.
Oh, yeah.
Tom Brady is the GOAT.
Broadway Joe.
Tom Brady is the GOAT. We're only doing this for a minute. Tom Brady is the GOAT.
Gambling Grobes. That's what it looks like. Say it slow.
Tom Brady is the GOAT. Tom Brady is the GOAT.
Stop the game show.
Yes.
Yeah.
We do have to stop because it has been a minute.
Dude, that was so hard. What was it?
Tom Brady is the GOAT.
I'm not going to say that either way.
That's why I wanted you to say it.
That is super hard. Watch them copyrights.
So you want to like point to me when it's time?
Yeah.
Because you kept on.
Yeah,
Okay,
so-
yeah. Oh, some Michael. Hello.
Johnny says I'll go with Jets. That's terrible. That's super hard.
Ready? I love Jason Garrett.
I have no idea.
I love Jason Garrett.
Let's go for it.
Like I can't even pick out one word you just said.
I love Jason Garrett.
Tony Romo is the GOAT.
So close.
I love Jason Garrett.
Aaron Rodgers sucks.
You got this, bro. You're so close.
Jason Garrett, or wait, when I say Jason Garrett is my favorite, right?
Yeah.
Jason Garrett is my favorite.
How about them Cowboys?
Oh, jeez. Wow. Okay.
What was it?
Jason Garrett is my favorite.
Everything you said looks exactly the same. I had no idea.
Oh,
Wait, one more round. We have to go.
I'm going to get this.
I'm going to change the song here.
No, he
Jamming
stopped
in
the
that
song.
song.
All right, so ready? I love my new head coach for the Jets.
That's great.
I love something Jets.
I love my new head coach for the Jets.
So many words.
I have to make this round hard.
Take it slow.
I love my
Love?
new head coach for the Jets. I love my new head coach for the Jets.
For Tom Brady's check.
All right. I love my new head coach.
I love
the
picture
Jets.
graphs. That's what it looks.
At least you got the love part. A lot closer.
I
than
love
me.
I love
my new head coach for the Jets.
my hometown Jets.
You came close.
That's close.
Yeah.
Close.
Well, I love
my
new head coach for the Jets.
Patrick Mahomes' chances.
I think you're just saying gibberish now. I love my new head coach for the Jets.
The Michelin Man? That's what it looks like.
No. I love my new head coach for the Jets.
That's a lot of words. That's a lot of words, Josh.
I had to make this, the second round has to be harder.
Because let's push on this so
That's not even close.
Good God.
Are these headphones up for giveaway?
Hey, Kevin, we're going to hit with copyright on that. This may not post.
Tony Romo is not the GOAT.
Tony Romo is the GOAT?
Tony Romo is not the GOAT.
Like, that makes no
I see
sense.
Tony Romo.
Tony Romo is not the GOAT.
Tony Romo is the GOAT. That's what you're saying.
Tony Romo is not the GOAT.
If you're saying he's not the GOAT, I'm going to throw something at you.
Elijah wins again!
Don't you dare blaspheme against him.
That was impressive.
Oh, man. That was fun.
That was impressive. I feel like you muted your headphones. You're like, I see Tony Romo and GOAT, but the word not is just not.
It was not processed through Elijah's
I've
head.
never heard those words uttered in that order.
Man, that was challenging.
Yeah.
That was tough.
I had to change it up because I was really tired and I didn't really feel coming up with questions for Jeopardy up here, man.
Hey, guys, if you want to see that again, let us know.
That was hilarious. All right, so now is that time of the show for final headlines. And since, do you guys even have one? Because we usually start with you first. So we're going to do it now. We're going to start with Elijah.
All right. Shout out to the Cowboys. They got a lot farther. We had such a bad start this year. I think we were, 2-5 to start off the season. Made a second-round turnaround. Got to give credit where credit's due to Jerry Jones for picking up Amari Cooper. I criticized the move when it happened, like most Cowboy fans did, and that ended up turning our whole season around. So Leighton Vander Esch was a great first-round pick for us. Why he didn't play this last game, I have no idea why we put Sean Lee on. I really hope Sean Lee retires and becomes a coach. At least our linebacker coach or something, because he's a killer for us when he's in. He's not the same Sean Lee. But shout out to my Cowboys. They did a lot better than I thought, and I think within the next 5 years we will win a Super Bowl. Our team is very young, and we're actually making smart moves in the front office. So it's only a matter of time, Cowboy fans. It's only a matter of time. We're gonna win pretty soon.
Adam.
Greg says Adam looked even more confused than usual. That's tough. It's challenging. Just because we didn't touch on it on the show, and I don't feel like spending a lot of time on it. Yes, Adam Gase was hired as the new head coach of the New York Jets. The idea behind it is that he's able to speak very closely with quarterbacks, and that he was really going to develop Sam Darnold. I just wish there was a position that was just directly for coaching quarterbacks that football teams had, because that would be perfect for him. Yeah. Like a quarterback's coach, like some hypothetical position like that he could have stepped into. The thing is, everybody's looking for the next Rams head coach that can step in there and just turn around, a young go-getter. They're like, oh, Darnold likes the pick, so he's going to really hop on it.
Oh,
I don't like it.
Nobody likes it.
Well, the thing is,
nobody likes it.
They're saying it could turn out, and they see I was watching ESPN, and they're saying that they see the idea behind it, how it could work out, all of that. You are what your record says you are. And he has done nothing but lose. And the AFC East likes to recycle their coaches. That's how it goes. So I am not a fan. Of course, am I going to give him a chance? Yes, I want the Jets to develop. I want him to get better. I'll root for him. But, he's on a much shorter leash than I gave Todd Bowles.
Can never trust those Adams. Alrighty, so... But let's real quick, talk about the new hire coaches. We had Tampa Bay get Bruce Arians and bring in Todd Bowles. So they're reuniting from Arizona. Denver getting Vic Fangio from the Bears. The Packers getting the young offensive coordinator from the Tennessee Titans. Who else got hired this week? Cliff Kingsbury, who never accomplished anything in college except for Patrick Mahomes.
And he's already talking about trading away Josh Rosen, which is already disturbing.
For Kyle Murray from Oklahoma.
Patrick Mahomes, it's not that they want anything.
Nope. Bad move, Arizona.
It can't get worse, but dang.
That's worse than the Jets.
And where's he going to again?
Arizona.
He should go to
Cardinals.
He should go to Green Bay, and you got an overrated coach and overrated quarterback.
How are you going to do Larry Fitzgerald like that in the twilight of his career?
He needs him.
Larry just college places here.
Come to the Cowboys, Larry.
All right, so my final.
We can use number 4.
My final headline is going to be what a weekend it was for the Lobo Hockey Network, our sister station. We were up in Los Alamos for the first ever nuclear shootout tournament. Give it up to the Lobo Hockey Network crew, because we fought conditions such as snow, 21-degree temperatures, and early wake-up calls as they had one of the games at 7 o'clock in the morning. The Lobos did absolutely amazing out there. Yes, they had a bad first game, but they recovered, beat Northern Arizona 11-2, and took number 3 Nebraska to overtime to end in a tie. But it was so much fun. You guys can catch it on the YouTube. Go to Lobo Hockey Network and check out all the games. You can head to the Facebook, check out all the photos. It was just an amazing time. I want to thank Coach Grant Harvey for letting us go out there and videotape it. The city of Los Alamos, they welcomed us with open arms, and the parents. It was just a fun time. So I really enjoyed it. If you guys want to catch more Lobo hockey, we are back this weekend as Lobos take on Grand Canyon University. Make sure you head out to the Outpost. It's only $6 to get in, and it's one heck of a time, especially now that Logan Collier is back from New Mexico.
Yeah.
He was one of their lead players.
Absolutely.
And and if you guys want a good family fun time, please head out to the Outpost and support your local teams because they really need it.
And here's a little takeaway, guys. If you're watching the game next week, make sure you, hop on, tune in. We're going to be here. We're going to be talking sports. We'll be watching we'll have the game on at the same time, so we'd like to interact with you. There is only a limited number of ABQ Sports Crews left in our first season on YouTube. We are breaking it into seasons. And once the Super Bowl is over, we are taking a break till probably late March, early April. But somewhere in that time frame,
we will keep up.
We're gonna have a lot of content. There's you like the Under Review. There's some documentaries. There's some really cool stuff that we are going to be bringing to the channel. Make sure you like us on Facebook, on Instagram, on Snapchat. That's where we communicate a lot of our content. But we've just got a limited number of weeks left for you. So make sure you tune in. We've got 3 shows left in this season.
Yeah, and then one thing I want to talk about the documentary quick. I had decided what it's going to be. It's going to be the story of Patrick Dennehy, a former New Mexico Lobo basketball player that transferred to Baylor University and was murdered by his roommate.
Spoiler.
And it had the story behind Dave Bliss, too, who was a former Lobo coach, getting involved. So you're not going to want to miss it. We're going to take some live shots from the pit. We're going to do some amazing footage, and it's going to be a great documentary. You're not going to want to miss it.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, we had fun with you guys here tonight. Yeah, Elijah.
Did you guys talk college at all?
Oh, no. Congratulations to Clemson Tigers. Beat down on the Alabama Crimson Tide.
It's a heavy week to fit it all into an hour.
It's too much, yeah.
Who's the offensive coordinator for Alabama?
Mike Loxley, former UNM Lobo coach, now going to be Maryland University's new head football coach.
Yeah.
So congratulations, Clemson. You guys definitely deserved it.
Beat down
that quarterback for Clemson.
Goldilocks, and that's what we're saying. He's Sunshine. He is a true freshman.
Yeah. They're going to be good for years to come. Yeah. And now, the last 4 years, their records are identical with 2 national championships. Now it's going to be no longer Alabama's the favorite for everything. Now Clemson's taking over that position, and the players in Clemson are a lot more happier than the players at Alabama because it's just a new coaching style.
Is it safe to say the Tide got rolled? Hey, anybody? Come on.
NFL teams are already drooling over Clemson's quarterback. They're
saying if he was able to declare now that he would be the number one overall pick
over Kyle Murray.
Around there, that's unreal.
Oakland Athletics want Kyle Murray to.
They were pissed. Did you see that? They were pissed at him. So, Kyle, real quick, I know we have to go, but Kyle Murray was a dual sport athlete, and he got drafted by the Oakland Athletics. When he declared for the NFL draft, the Oakland A's who was it, their pitching coach or something, commented on Twitter, wishes that he would get hurt and would be no good in the NFL, that he would be a joke and a laughing stock of the NFL.
Which honestly, it makes his decision that more sound because those are the people that he was going to be signing up to be playing side by side with, and it's testimony to their character as people.
And it's also testimony to how good he...
I'm worried about that cat.
It's also we have bad luck with cats, right? We got the cat jacket with the tripod and the mixer board back there. There's a lot going on there, and there's a cat playing on all of it, right? So.
It's also testament to how good he is of a baseball player. So we hear all the time with the Kaepernicks and the Russell Wilsons, they get drafted by a team. This is because they played some baseball in their lifetime. No, this dude is actually a standout. He was hitting just a shy under 300. His stats were good this year, so he definitely could play baseball at a high level.
Last person he saw like that was John Elway. He might have...
Yeah, if he would have been selected by the Colts, he would have been signing with the Yankees. So, Alrighty, guys. Well, that's going to wrap it up for us here at the ABQ Sports Crew studio. We want to thank you guys for spending your night with us.
It was a fun one, guys.
Yeah, it was great. We can't wait to be back next weekend when we talk about what 2 teams are going to the Super Bowl. You heard our predictions. Make sure that you comment on our Facebook which ones you think are going to the Super Bowl. As for me, Elijah, and Adam, you guys have a good night. That cat is scaring me. So you guys have a good one. We'll see you next week. Take care, guys.